Tonight, we're taking you somewhere you've never been before, deep into a frozen palace where every surface glistens like captured starlight, and every breath forms delicate crystals in the air. We're going to guide you through the most extraordinary bedroom ever carved from ice and snow, where walls sparkle with ancient frost, and the ceiling stretches up into crystalline arches that seem to hold the very essence of winter itself. So, before we begin this journey together, take a moment to like this video if you're ready to escape into something magical, and subscribe if you genuinely want more of these immersive experiences. Let me know in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is in your world. It's always fascinating to see how many of you are joining me from across the globe as we drift into sleep together. Now, dim your lights, maybe adjust that pillow one more time, and let yourself sink deeper into comfort. Tonight, we're not just falling asleep. We're stepping through an enchanted doorway into a realm where ice becomes art and cold becomes comfort. You've been traveling for what feels like days through an endless winter landscape. Snow crunches beneath your boots as you follow a winding path that seems to shimmer with its own inner light. The aurora borealis dances overhead in ribbons of green and silver, casting ethereal shadows across the pristine white ground. Your breath forms small clouds that dissipate quickly in the crisp air, and despite the cold, you feel strangely warm, as if the very magic of this place is protecting you. Ahead, rising from the snow-covered hills like something from a fairy tale, stands the ice castle. It's not the harsh, forbidding fortress you might expect, but something altogether more welcoming. The walls curve gracefully skyward, sculpted from ice so pure it seems to glow from within. Towers spiral upward in perfect spirals, their surfaces catching and reflecting the dancing lights above. Every edge has been smoothed by master craftsmen who understood that ice, like crystal, has its own natural beauty that shouldn't be forced or rushed. As you approach the main entrance, massive doors carved from single blocks of glacial ice swing open silently on hinges that seem to be made of frozen air itself. The entryway beckons you forward, and you step across the threshold into a world transformed. The temperature inside is perfectly balanced, cold enough to preserve the magical ice architecture, yet somehow comfortable against your skin. It's as if the castle itself is alive, breathing with an ancient rhythm that keeps everything in perfect harmony. The main hall stretches before you like a cathedral made of winter. Pillars of ice rise from the floor to support a vaulted ceiling that disappears into soft shadows above. Each pillar is unique, some twisted like frozen tornadoes, others smooth as polished marble, all of them catching and refracting the gentle light that seems to emanate from the walls themselves. The floor beneath your feet is not the slippery surface you might expect, but something textured and warm to the touch, as if the ice here has been enchanted to provide perfect footing. Along the walls, intricate carvings tell stories of winter spirits and snow queens, of magical creatures that dance through blizzards and forests where every tree is permanently dressed in white. The artistry is breathtaking, each figure seeming to move slightly in your peripheral vision, as if the stories themselves are trying to come alive. Delicate ice flowers bloom in impossible gardens carved into alcoves, their petals so thin they're nearly transparent, yet somehow sturdy enough to last for centuries. You follow a corridor that curves gently to the right, its walls lined with windows that look out onto the magical landscape beyond. But these aren't ordinary windows. The ice has been shaped and polished until it's clearer than the finest glass, offering unobstructed views of the winter wonderland outside. Through them, you can see snow falling in perfect silence, each flake visible as it dances through the air before settling on the ground below. The corridor leads you past room after room, each one a marvel of ice architecture. You glimpse a library where books carved from ice sit on shelves that seem to grow from the walls themselves, their pages telling stories that can only be read by those who understand the language of winter. Further on, a dining hall with a table that appears to be carved from a single massive block of ice, surrounded by chairs that look comfortable despite being made entirely of frozen water. But you're not here for the library or the dining hall. You're here for something much more intimate and peaceful. A guide appears beside you, though you didn't hear them approach. They're tall and graceful, dressed in robes that seem to be woven from crystallized air, their face kind and ageless in the way that suggests they've been part of this castle for longer than memory. Without speaking, they gesture for you to follow, leading you up a staircase that spirals gently upward. Each step is carved with intricate patterns that seem to tell their own small stories, and as your feet touch them, they emit the softest chime, like distant wind chimes made of icicles. The sound is soothing rather than disturbing, adding to the magical atmosphere rather than breaking it. The staircase leads to a landing where several passages branch off in different directions. Your guide chooses the one that leads toward the front of the castle, where the views will be most spectacular. As you walk, you notice that the air here is filled with the faintest scent of winter pine and clean snow, a fragrance that speaks of purity and peace. Finally, you arrive at a set of double doors that are different from all the others you've seen. These are more delicate, more personal, carved with patterns of snowflakes and winter roses. Each snowflake is unique, no two exactly alike, just as they would be in nature. The roses are impossibly detailed, their petals layered in ways that create depth and shadow even though they're made entirely of ice. Your guide places their hand on the door handle, which appears to be carved from a single piece of blue-white ice that's been polished until it gleams. They turn to you with a smile that seems to warm the air around you, then gently push open the doors to reveal the most extraordinary bedroom you've ever seen. The room beyond takes your breath away. It's circular, with a domed ceiling that rises high above, carved with constellations that seem to twinkle with their own inner light. The walls curve gracefully, and every surface has been polished to a soft, matte finish that eliminates glare while still maintaining the magical quality of ice. The floor is covered with what appears to be the softest carpet, but as you look closer, you realize it's made of compressed snow that's been treated to feel like silk beneath your feet. But the centerpiece of the room is the bed. It rises from the floor like a natural formation, as if it grew there over centuries rather than being carved. The base is a platform of ice that's been shaped and sculpted until it resembles a cloud frozen in time. Upon this platform sits the most comfortable-looking bed you've ever seen, with pillows and blankets that seem impossibly warm and inviting despite the icy surroundings. The headboard is a masterwork of ice carving, rising up in gentle curves that suggest both the shape of waves and the flow of wind through snow. Embedded within it are what appear to be gemstones, but as you look closer, you realize they're pieces of ice that have been cut and polished until they rival any precious stone for beauty and clarity. They catch the soft light in the room and cast gentle rainbows across the walls. Around the room, furniture sits in perfect arrangement. A chair that looks like it was carved from a single glacier, its arms and back shaped to provide perfect comfort. A desk with drawers that slide open silently on runners made of the smoothest ice. A wardrobe whose doors are decorated with scenes of winter forests, where ice crystal deer leap between trees whose branches are heavy with snow. The windows in this room are the most spectacular yet. They're tall and arched, reaching almost to the ceiling, and they look out over the most beautiful view imaginable. Rolling hills covered in pristine snow stretch to the horizon, broken by forests of evergreens that stand like dark sentinels against the white landscape. In the distance, mountains rise like frozen waves, their peaks disappearing into clouds that glow with reflected moonlight. Your guide moves to the bed and pulls back covers that look impossibly thick and warm. The sheets beneath are not the ice you might expect, but something soft and welcoming, as if the magic of this place extends to creating perfect comfort even in the heart of winter. Steam rises gently from the bedding, suggesting warmth that will envelop you the moment you slip between the covers. As you approach the bed, you notice details you missed before. The pillows are arranged with perfect care, each one plump and inviting. The blankets are layered in a way that suggests they'll provide exactly the right amount of warmth, no matter how cold it might become outside. Even the air around the bed feels different, warmer and more welcoming than the already comfortable temperature of the room. Your guide begins to speak for the first time, their voice like the sound of snow falling on snow, soft and soothing and perfectly pitched to help you relax. They explain that this room has been prepared specifically for you, that every detail has been crafted to ensure your perfect rest. The temperature will remain constant throughout the night. The light will gradually dim until you're surrounded by the gentle darkness that promotes the deepest sleep. Even the sounds from outside, the whisper of wind and the distant call of winter birds, have been carefully orchestrated to provide the most soothing soundtrack for your dreams. They show you how the covers work, how they'll adjust automatically to your body temperature, becoming warmer if you grow cold, lighter if you become too warm. The pillows, they explain, are filled with something that feels like the softest down, but will maintain their shape and support throughout the night. The mattress beneath has been crafted to provide perfect support for your body, cushioning every pressure point while maintaining the alignment that ensures restful sleep. As your guide prepares to leave, they pause at the door and gesture toward the windows. They explain that if you wake during the night, you might see wonders that few have ever witnessed. The aurora borealis often dances directly overhead, visible through the crystal clear ceiling. Sometimes, creatures of magic pass by the windows, winter spirits and ice fairies that play in the snow-covered gardens below. But most likely, they say with another warm smile, you'll sleep so deeply and peacefully that morning will arrive before you know it. The door closes with the softest whisper, and you're alone in your ice castle bedroom. The silence is profound but not empty. It's filled with the gentle presence of magic, the soft breathing of the castle itself, the distant music of wind playing through ice formations somewhere in the structure below. You move toward the bed, each step on the snow-soft carpet bringing you closer to what promises to be the most restful sleep of your life. The covers seem to beckon, and as you reach out to touch them, they're exactly as warm and welcoming as they appeared. You slip beneath the covers, and immediately you understand that this is no ordinary bedding. The moment the blankets settle around you, they seem to mold themselves to your body, creating the perfect cocoon of warmth, without any sense of weight or restriction. It's as if you're being embraced by the gentlest cloud, one that knows exactly how to hold you for the most restorative sleep possible. The pillow beneath your head adjusts itself as you settle, cradling your neck and supporting your head in a way that releases every bit of tension you've been carrying. As you sink deeper into this perfect comfort, you become aware of the subtle sounds that fill your ice palace bedroom. There's a soft, rhythmic humming that seems to come from the walls themselves, a resonance that matches the steady beating of your heart and gradually begins to slow it to the perfect rhythm for deep sleep. Outside your windows, the snow continues to fall, but now you can hear it, each flake making the tiniest whisper as it lands on the surfaces beyond. It's not distracting, but rather hypnotic, like nature's own white noise machine designed specifically to ease your mind into rest. The sound creates a sense of complete isolation from the outside world, as if this room exists in its own peaceful dimension where nothing can disturb your slumber. The light in the room begins to dim gradually, just as your guide promised. It's not a sudden darkness, but rather a gentle transition that mimics the natural progression of twilight. The constellation carved into the ceiling overhead starts to glow more brightly as the ambient light fades, creating your own private night sky. Each star seems to pulse gently, not enough to keep you awake, but just enough to give you something beautiful to focus on as your eyelids grow heavy. You notice that your breathing has begun to synchronize with the rhythm of the castle itself. Each breath in brings the clean, crisp air that tastes of winter purity, while each exhale seems to release not just carbon dioxide, but also the stress and worries you brought with you on this journey. The magical properties of this place extend even to the air you breathe, purifying and cleansing with every cycle. As you lie there in perfect comfort, you become aware of the temperature regulation your guide mentioned. The bedding seems to anticipate your needs, providing exactly the right amount of warmth to keep you comfortable without making you feel overheated. It's as if the blankets have their own intelligence, monitoring your body and adjusting constantly to maintain that perfect balance between cozy and cool. The mattress beneath you continues to support your body in ways you've never experienced before. Every pressure point is cushioned, every curve supported, and as you shift slightly to find your preferred sleeping position, the surface adapts immediately. It's neither too firm nor too soft, but exactly what your body needs to release completely into rest. Through the tall windows, you catch glimpses of the magical landscape beyond. The rolling hills of snow seem to glow with their own inner light, creating gentle undulations of silver and white that extend as far as your drowsy eyes can see. Occasionally, you notice movement in the distance, perhaps one of the winter spirits your guide mentioned. But rather than curiosity, these glimpses only deepen your sense of being in a place where magic is not just possible but natural. The walls around you seem to breathe with life, expanding and contracting almost imperceptibly in a rhythm that's deeply soothing. The ice construction doesn't feel cold or harsh, but rather alive and welcoming, as if the entire castle is a benevolent creature that's taken you into its care for the night. Every surface gleams softly in the starlight from above, creating patterns of light and shadow that shift gently across your field of vision. Your eyelids are becoming heavier now, but before you fully surrender to sleep, you take a moment to appreciate the extraordinary craftsmanship that surrounds you. The headboard behind you seems to tell stories through its carved patterns, tales of winter queens and snow princes, of magical forests where ice flowers bloom eternal, of creatures made of starlight and frost who dance through blizzards without ever feeling cold. The covers around you seem to tighten their embrace slightly, not restrictively, but protectively, like being wrapped in the arms of someone who cares deeply about your comfort and rest. The warmth spreads through your body, starting from your core and radiating outward until even your fingers and toes feel perfectly heated despite the icy palace that surrounds you. As sleep begins to claim you, you notice that your thoughts are becoming softer, less defined, like snowflakes that melt the moment they're examined too closely. The worries and concerns of your waking life seem impossibly distant now, as if they belong to someone else entirely. In this magical place, there is only peace, only comfort, only the gentle rhythm of your breathing and the soft pulse of magic that flows through every inch of the castle. The ceiling above you continues its gentle light show, the carved constellations seeming to move in slow, hypnotic patterns that guide your mind deeper into relaxation. Each star appears to be connected to the others by invisible threads of light, creating a web of gentle illumination that's perfectly calibrated to ease you into the deepest, most restorative sleep possible. Your body begins to feel weightless, as if the magical properties of the bed are gradually lifting you into a state between waking and sleeping, between the physical world and the realm of dreams. The boundary between your body and the bedding becomes less distinct, until you feel as though you're floating in a cocoon of perfect warmth and support. The sounds outside your windows shift subtly, the whisper of falling snow joined by what might be the distant call of winter birds, or perhaps the voices of ice spirits singing lullabies to the sleeping world. The music is wordless but deeply meaningful, touching something primal in your mind that recognizes these sounds as signals for rest, for peace, for letting go of consciousness and trusting in the magic that surrounds you. Your breathing deepens naturally, each inhalation bringing more of the purified air into your lungs, each exhalation releasing more tension from your muscles. The rhythm becomes so regular and peaceful that it seems to merge with the heartbeat of the castle itself, creating a harmony between your life force and the magic that keeps this place alive and welcoming. The last thing you're consciously aware of is the feeling of being completely safe, completely protected, completely cared for. This Ice Palace bedroom isn't just a place to sleep. It's a sanctuary designed specifically for your rest and renewal. Every detail, from the temperature-regulating covers to the constellation ceiling to the supportive mattress beneath you, has been crafted with your comfort in mind. The room seems to recognize that you're ready now, ready to let go and trust in the magic that will carry you through the night. The light from the ceiling stars grows even softer. The sounds from outside become even more distant and soothing, and the embrace of your magical bedding becomes even more perfect and complete. As consciousness finally slips away, you're dimly aware that something wonderful is happening. The boundaries between yourself and the magic of the castle are dissolving, allowing you to become part of the peaceful rhythm that flows through every ice crystal, every carved surface, every whisper of wind through the towers above. Your dreams, when they come, are touched by the same magic that created this place. They're filled with gentle beauty, with landscapes of pristine snow and forests of crystal trees, with creatures of light and air who move through winter scenes of impossible loveliness. But even more than the visual beauty, your dreams are filled with the deep, abiding sense of peace that permeates every molecule of air in your ice castle bedroom. The night passes in perfect rest, your body and mind completely rejuvenated by sleep that's deeper and more restorative than any you've ever experienced. The magic of the castle works through every moment of your slumber, healing small tensions you didn't even know you carried, refreshing your spirit in ways that go far beyond ordinary rest. Sometimes, in the deepest part of the night, you're vaguely aware of sounds from beyond your room. The soft chiming of ice formations as they shift slightly in the cold, the distant whisper of wind through the castle's towers, perhaps even the gentle footsteps of your guide as they check to ensure your comfort. But these sounds don't wake you. Instead, they become part of the peaceful tapestry of your dreams, weaving themselves into scenarios of beauty and tranquility. The castle itself dreams alongside you, its ancient ice consciousness weaving protective spells around your sleeping form. You sense, rather than see, the way the walls pulse gently with accumulated winter magic, each breath of the structure synchronized with your own steady rhythm. The ice remembers every soul who has ever found refuge here, and tonight it cradles you with the same tender care it has offered to countless dreamers across the centuries. Your sleep deepens beyond the ordinary boundaries of rest. In this magical realm, your body doesn't just recover from the day's fatigue, it transforms. The crystalline air you breathe carries microscopic particles of pure energy that seep into your bloodstream, traveling to every cell and revitalizing you from within. Your muscles release tension you didn't even realize you were holding. Your spine aligns perfectly against the mattress that seems to understand your body's exact needs, and your mind clears of the accumulated static from countless days of ordinary worry. The temperature in your room adjusts throughout the night with supernatural precision. As your body cycles through different stages of sleep, the magical bedding responds accordingly. During your deepest REM phases, when your body naturally runs cooler, the covers generate slightly more warmth, ensuring you never experience that jarring chill that can shatter peaceful dreams. When your sleep lightens and your body temperature rises, the fabric breathes and cools, maintaining that perfect balance between cozy comfort and refreshing coolness. Through the tall windows, the landscape beyond continues its silent dance of beauty. The aurora borealis makes another appearance, this time more magnificent than before, painting the sky in ribbons of emerald, sapphire, and violet that reflect off every ice surface visible from your bedroom. The light show casts moving colors across your room's walls, creating a gentle kaleidoscope that enhances rather than disrupts your slumber. The patterns seem to tell ancient stories of winter magic, of ice queens who ruled with wisdom and compassion, of snow spirits who blessed sleeping travelers with dreams of wonder. Your dreams themselves take on the quality of the castle's magic. Instead of the fragmented, chaotic narratives of ordinary sleep, your mind crafts coherent stories of beauty and peace. You find yourself walking through gardens where roses made of ice bloom eternal, their petals catching starlight and transforming it into melodies that only the heart can hear. You meet creatures of impossible grace, beings made of crystallized moonbeams who speak in languages of pure emotion, conveying feelings of joy and serenity that bypass words entirely. In one dream, you're flying above the castle, seeing it from an aerial perspective that reveals its true magnificence. The structure spreads below you like a frozen city, with towers and spires arranged in perfect harmony with the natural landscape. Gardens of ice sculptures stretch between the buildings, each one telling part of a larger story about the triumph of beauty over harshness, of warmth over cold, of magic over mundane reality. You realize that your bedroom is just one small part of this vast complex, a single jewel in a crown of architectural wonders. The dream shifts, and you find yourself in a great hall where beings of light dance to music made of winter wind and falling snow. Their movements create patterns in the air that solidify into temporary sculptures of breathtaking beauty before dissolving and reforming into new configurations. You understand, without being told, that this is how the castle was built, through the dance of these light beings, their joyful movements crystallizing into the walls and ceilings and decorative elements that surround you even now as you sleep. As the night progresses, your rest becomes even more profound. The boundary between sleeping and being dissolves entirely, and you exist in a state of pure peace that goes beyond ordinary consciousness. You're aware, on some level, of your body lying in the magical bed, but you're also simultaneously part of the castle's living dream, experiencing existence as pure energy flowing through crystalline structures of impossible beauty. The air in your room carries more than just oxygen. It's infused with the essence of countless peaceful nights, the accumulated dreams of every soul who has ever found sanctuary within these ice walls. Each breath you take connects you to this legacy of rest and renewal, making you part of a tradition that stretches back through centuries of winter magic. You feel the presence of other dreamers, not as individuals, but as a collective consciousness of peace that embraces and supports your own journey through the night. The stars carved into your ceiling begin to tell their own story as the night deepens. Each constellation shifts almost imperceptibly, creating a slow-motion narrative of cosmic beauty that plays out above your sleeping form. The story is wordless, but profound, speaking of the eternal dance between light and darkness, between rest and wakefulness, between the individual soul and the vast universe that contains and nurtures it. The gentle light from these carved stars bathes your face in the softest illumination, adding a touch of celestial magic to your already extraordinary sleeping experience. Your guide returns at some point during the deepest part of the night, though you're far too immersed in peaceful slumber to be consciously aware of their presence. They move through your room like a whisper of winter wind, checking the temperature, adjusting the covers with touches so gentle they don't disturb your rest, ensuring that every element of your environment remains perfectly calibrated for the deepest possible sleep. They pause for a moment at the foot of your bed, and you sense their smile even through your dreams, a warmth that adds another layer of comfort to your already perfect rest. The magical properties of your bedding continue to work their wonders throughout the night. The fabric seems to learn from your body, adapting not just to your immediate needs, but anticipating them. When you shift position in your sleep, the mattress adjusts before you've even completed the movement. When your breathing changes rhythm, the covers respond by becoming slightly lighter or heavier. It's as if the bed itself is dreaming alongside you, its consciousness intertwined with yours to create the most supportive possible environment for rest. Outside your windows, the winter landscape continues its eternal vigil. Snow falls in patterns too perfect to be natural, each flake following trajectories that create temporary mandalas of beauty in the air before settling onto the growing drifts below. The evergreen forests in the distance stand like dark sentinels against the white expanse, their branches heavy with accumulated snow that gleams like precious stones in the aurora's shifting light. Occasionally, shapes move between the trees, creatures of magic that emerge only in the deepest part of the night, when the boundary between the physical world and the realm of dreams grows thin. The castle's other rooms hum with their own quiet activities. In the library, books of ice turn their own pages, their stories writing and rewriting themselves for future readers. The dining hall's table sets itself with goblets that fill with liquid starlight, preparing for breakfast that will taste of honey and winter berries and dreams made manifest. The great hall's pillars sing in harmonies too low for human ears, but perfect for encouraging deep sleep throughout the entire structure. Your dreams deepen and expand, taking on the character of the castle's own memories. You experience fragments of its history, seeing it built by the dance of light beings, watching as it welcomed its first dreamers, feeling the accumulation of peaceful nights that have made it what it is today. You understand that this place exists specifically for moments like this, for souls who need not just rest, but transformation, not just sleep, but renewal that goes to the very core of being. The magic works on levels beyond the physical, reaching into your spirit and gently healing places you didn't even know were wounded. Old disappointments dissolve like snow in sunlight. Accumulated stress melts away like ice in spring warmth. The subtle aches of living in an imperfect world are soothed by the perfect harmony of this magical space. You're not just sleeping. You're being restored to a version of yourself that existed before the world taught you to be anything other than completely at peace. As the night reaches its deepest point, something extraordinary happens. The boundary between your individual consciousness and the castle's collective dream dissolves entirely. For a period that could be minutes or hours, you exist as pure awareness, connected to every ice crystal in the walls, every carved flower in the decorative elements, every gentle breath of wind that moves through the structure's towers and spires. You are the dreamer and the dream, the sleeper and the sanctuary, the individual soul and the eternal peace that cradles it. This experience doesn't overwhelm or frighten. Instead, it completes something that has been incomplete within you for longer than memory. You understand, with a clarity that bypasses rational thought, that this is what rest is meant to be. Not just the absence of activity, but the presence of perfect harmony. Not just the cessation of consciousness, but the expansion of awareness into realms of beauty and peace that exist beyond the ordinary waking world. The knowledge settles into your sleeping mind that you will carry something of this experience back with you when morning comes. Not just the memory of extraordinary comfort, but the embodied understanding of what true peace feels like. The cells of your body are learning a new rhythm, one synchronized with the eternal heartbeat of winter magic. Your spirit is absorbing the frequency of absolute tranquility, creating a permanent reference point for serenity that will remain with you long after you leave this magical place. The carved constellations above you pulse one final time in perfect unison. And in that moment, you understand that dawn is still hours away. There is so much more rest to be had, so much more renewal to experience. The night is far from over. and the magic of your ice castle bedroom continues to weave its spells of restoration around your peacefully sleeping form. Your breathing settles into the deepest rhythm yet, perfectly synchronized with the eternal pulse of the castle itself. The covers around you seem to glow faintly with accumulated magic, and the very air shimmers with potential for even deeper dreams, even more profound rest, even greater transformation than you've already experienced in this most extraordinary of bedrooms. The winter wind outside begins to sing a different song now, one that seems composed specifically for the deepest hours of night when the world belongs entirely to dreamers. Through your windows, you can see the snow has changed its pattern of falling, no longer the gentle drift you witnessed earlier, but something more purposeful, more artistic. Each flake seems to pause mid-air before settling, as if considering exactly where it will add the most beauty to the already perfect landscape. Your body has found its ideal position now, nestled into the magical bedding with such perfect alignment that you feel as though you're floating rather than lying down. The mattress has molded itself so precisely to your form that there's no distinction between support and comfort, between the bed and your body. You exist in a state of weightless rest, where gravity seems to have been replaced by something gentler, something that cradles rather than pulls. The temperature regulation system continues its silent work, but now you're aware of subtleties you missed before. The covers don't just maintain warmth, they create microclimates around different parts of your body. Your feet, always the first to grow cold, are wrapped in layers that generate exactly the amount of heat needed to keep them perfectly warm without making them uncomfortably hot. Your shoulders, which tend to carry tension, are enveloped in fabric that seems to massage gently as you breathe, releasing knots of stress with each exhalation. Through the crystalline ceiling above, you catch glimpses of something extraordinary. The aurora borealis has returned, but this time it's dancing directly overhead. Its ribbons of colored light visible through the transparent dome that caps your bedroom. The display seems more intimate than before, as if the cosmic forces that create these lights have noticed your presence and are performing specifically for your peaceful slumber. Waves of emerald green flow across the sky, followed by tendrils of deep purple and brilliant blue. Each color transition so smooth it resembles silk scarves dancing in a gentle breeze. The ice walls around you begin to reveal new secrets as the night deepens. What appeared to be simple carved decorations in the earlier light now show themselves to be far more complex. The flowers etched into the surfaces seem to have depth that extends beyond the physical thickness of the ice, as if each bloom exists in multiple dimensions simultaneously. When the aurora light hits them at just the right angle, they cast shadows that tell entirely different stories than the carvings themselves, creating a second layer of narrative that only emerges in the deepest part of the night. Your dreams have evolved beyond the beautiful scenes you experienced earlier. Now they take on the quality of memories, but memories of places you've never been and experiences you've never had. You remember walking through corridors of this very castle hundreds of years ago, when it was newly built and the ice still held the fresh magic of its creation. You remember conversations with beings made of crystallized starlight, discussions about the nature of rest and renewal that revealed profound truths about the connection between sleep and spiritual transformation. In these dream memories, you understand that the castle exists in multiple time periods simultaneously. The room where you now sleep has hosted countless dreamers across centuries, each one contributing something to its accumulated magic. A medieval knight fleeing from a battle that left his soul wounded found healing here. His dreams of honor and courage still echoing in the carved patterns on the walls. A wandering poet from the Renaissance era spent a night here and woke with verses that would become legendary. The rhythm of her words still pulsing through the very foundation stones. The magical bedding seems to recognize these dream memories and responds by deepening its embrace around you. The fabric becomes even softer, if such a thing were possible, and begins to emanate a fragrance so subtle you're not sure whether you're smelling it or dreaming it. It carries hints of winter jasmine and crystallized honey, of snow-covered pine forests, and the clean, sharp scent of air so pure it seems to ring like a bell when you breathe it. Your guide appears again in your dreams, but this time they're not the figure who showed you to your room. This is someone older, more ancient, with eyes that hold the memory of the castle's entire existence. They sit in a chair that materializes from ice particles floating in the air, and their presence brings an even deeper sense of safety and protection to your already perfect rest. Without speaking, they begin to tell you the true history of your bedroom, not with words, but with images that flow directly into your sleeping consciousness. You see the room being carved by master craftsmen who worked not with chisels and hammers, but with songs that shaped the ice through pure intention. Each note they sang crystallized into architectural details, their harmonies becoming the graceful curves of the walls, their melodies transforming into the intricate patterns that decorate every surface. The bed itself, you learn, was created through a different process entirely. 7 winter spirits, each one representing a different aspect of peaceful sleep, danced around the space where it now sits. As they moved, their footsteps left traces of magic that gradually solidified into the platform and headboard. Their breath became the bedding, their laughter crystallized into the supportive mattress, and their dreams of perfect rest transformed into the temperature-regulating properties that now keep you in ideal comfort. This knowledge settles into your sleeping mind, not as information, but as felt understanding. You don't just know these facts, you experience them as part of your own history with this place. The connection between you and the magical bedroom deepens, becoming less like a guest staying in a hotel room and more like a soul returning to a sanctuary it has always known. The sounds outside your windows shift again, taking on new layers of complexity. The whisper of falling snow is joined by what might be the distant call of winter birds, or perhaps the voices of ice spirits singing lullabies to the sleeping world. There's a rhythm to these sounds that matches the beating of your heart, which has slowed to the perfect pace for the deepest possible rest. Each sound seems designed to ease you further into tranquility, creating an auditory environment that's perfectly calibrated for renewal and restoration. Your breathing has become so deep and regular that it seems to merge with the breathing of the castle itself. The entire structure inhales and exhales in a rhythm that's barely perceptible but absolutely steady, and your own breath has synchronized with this ancient pattern. Each inhalation brings more than just oxygen. It carries microscopic particles of crystallized magic that travel through your bloodstream, reaching every cell in your body and infusing them with the pure energy of winter peace. The covers around you seem to develop their own consciousness, adjusting constantly to your body's needs with an intelligence that goes beyond mere temperature regulation. When your left shoulder shifts slightly in your sleep, the fabric there becomes just a touch softer, providing exactly the right amount of additional cushioning. When your breathing deepens during a particularly restful phase of sleep, the weight of the blankets decreases imperceptibly, allowing your chest to rise and fall without any restriction. Through your dreams, you become aware that other rooms in the castle are also occupied tonight. Somewhere in the distance, another weary traveler has found refuge in a bedroom carved from rose-colored ice, their dreams filled with visions of spring gardens that bloom eternal beneath winter skies. In a tower room, shaped like the inside of a seashell, a third dreamer experiences rest so profound that their spirit temporarily separates from their body, dancing through the castle's corridors in pure energy form, before returning to their sleeping flesh, refreshed beyond measure. These other dreamers don't disturb your rest. Instead, their presence adds to the collective peace that flows through the entire structure. The castle becomes a symphony of sleeping souls, each one contributing their own note to a harmony of rest that resonates through every ice crystal in the walls. Your bedroom serves as both sanctuary and instrument, providing you with perfect solitude while connecting you to the larger community of dreamers who have found refuge here. The carved constellations in your ceiling begin to move more noticeably now, their patterns shifting to tell new stories as the night progresses. What started as static star maps transform into moving narratives of cosmic beauty, celestial bodies dancing through scenarios of creation and renewal. You watch through half-closed dream eyes as carved comets streak across the dome above you, their tails leaving temporary trails of soft light that fade just slowly enough for you to appreciate their beauty before they disappear. One constellation in particular captures your attention, though you're far too immersed in peaceful sleep to analyze why. It shows a figure lying in perfect rest, surrounded by stars that pulse in rhythm with a sleeping heartbeat. As you watch, other constellations move into alignment around this central figure, creating a celestial mandala of protection and peace. You understand, with dream logic that bypasses rational thought, that this constellation represents you, that the ceiling above your bed is telling the story of your own journey into perfect rest. The magic of the room reaches deeper levels now, working on aspects of your being that extend far beyond the physical. The crystalline air you breathe carries frequencies that resonate with your soul's deepest needs, harmonizing with spiritual tensions you didn't even know existed, old griefs, the kind that lodge themselves in the body's memory and create subtle aches that you've learned to ignore, begin to dissolve like salt in warm water. Disappointments that have crystallized into hard places in your heart start to soften and release. Your spine, which has carried the weight of countless days of stress and poor posture, begins to remember its natural alignment. The magical mattress doesn't just support your body, it teaches your muscles and bones to remember their ideal positioning. Each vertebra settles into perfect relationship with its neighbors, creating a column of support that will serve you long after you leave this enchanted place. The knowledge of proper alignment becomes embedded in your body's memory, a gift that will continue giving long after this magical night ends. The winter landscape, visible through your windows, undergoes its own transformation as the night deepens. The rolling hills of snow seem to breathe with their own life, rising and falling in slow rhythms that mirror the deeper patterns of your own rest. The evergreen forests in the distance rearrange themselves subtly, trees moving with glacial slowness into new configurations that create more pleasing compositions for your sleeping eyes to rest upon. Creatures of pure magic begin to appear in this transformed landscape. Beings made of crystallized moonlight step delicately across the snow, leaving footprints that glow with inner radiance before fading like shooting stars. They move with purpose but without urgency, tending to gardens of ice flowers that bloom only in the deepest part of the night, when the boundary between the physical and spiritual worlds grows thin enough for impossible beauty to manifest. One of these light beings pauses directly outside your window and looks up at your room. Its face is indistinct, but somehow familiar, radiating a warmth that transcends physical temperature. It raises one hand in a gesture that might be greeting or blessing, and in response, the temperature in your room becomes even more perfectly calibrated to your needs. The creature's attention adds another layer of protection to your sleep, another guardian ensuring that your rest remains undisturbed and deeply restorative. Your dreams expand to encompass not just your own experience, but the dreams of everyone who has ever slept in this magical bedroom. You experience fragments of their rest, brief glimpses of the healing and renewal they found here. A war-weary soldier found peace from nightmares that had haunted him for years, his sleep in this room so profound that he woke with the trauma finally released from his body's memory. An artist struggling with creative blocks discovered new inspiration. Her dreams here so vivid and beautiful that she spent the rest of her life trying to capture their essence in paint and stone. Each of these dream fragments adds to your own experience rather than detracting from it. The accumulated piece of all previous dreamers becomes part of your own rest, creating layers of tranquility that extend far beyond what any single night of sleep could provide. You're not just experiencing your own renewal, you're connected to a legacy of healing that stretches back through centuries of winter magic. The magical properties of your bedding continue to evolve throughout the night, responding not just to your immediate physical needs, but to deeper requirements for spiritual restoration. The fabric seems to absorb tension from your body and transform it into something beneficial, converting stress into a form of energy that feeds the castle's protective spells. Every moment of worry you release becomes fuel for the magic that maintains this sanctuary, creating a perfect cycle where your healing contributes to the healing of others who will come after you. Your breath continues to carry more than just oxygen and carbon dioxide. Each exhalation releases not just waste gases, but also the accumulated toxins of modern living, the subtle poisons of noise and haste, and constant stimulation that build up in the body over time. Each inhalation brings crystalline purity that travels through your bloodstream like liquid starlight, reaching places that ordinary air never touches and cleansing them with the essence of winter peace. The sound environment in your room becomes even more sophisticated as the night progresses. The whisper of falling snow outside is joined by harmonics that seem to emerge from the ice walls themselves, frequencies so low they're felt rather than heard. These subsonic tones resonate with your bones and organs, creating a full-body experience of sound that promotes healing at the cellular level. Your heart rate continues to slow, synchronized now not just with the castle's breathing, but with deeper rhythms that connect to cosmic cycles of rest and renewal. The aurora display above intensifies once again, this time creating patterns that seem to respond directly to your sleep cycles. During your deepest REM phases, when your brain is most active in processing the day's experiences and creating dreams, the lights above pulse with corresponding energy, adding visual elements to your dreams that make them more vivid and meaningful. The colors shift from the earlier greens and blues to deeper purples and golds, hues that promote the kind of restorative sleep that heals trauma and integrates new understanding. Your body has reached a state of rest so profound that the boundary between sleeping and being begins to blur entirely. You exist as pure consciousness floating in a sea of perfect comfort, aware of your physical form only as a distant anchor that keeps you connected to the material world. In this state, healing happens that goes far beyond what ordinary sleep can provide. Cellular damage from years of inadequate rest begins to repair itself. Neural pathways that have been disrupted by stress and anxiety start to rebuild in healthier configurations. The ice walls around you pulse with accumulated magic, each pulse sending waves of healing energy that wash over your sleeping form like gentle tide pools of starlight. These waves carry not just peace, but actual restoration, reversing damage that you thought was permanent, healing wounds that you thought would never fully close. The magic doesn't work through force, but through invitation, offering your body and spirit the perfect conditions to remember their natural state of wholeness and health. As the deepest part of the night approaches, something extraordinary begins to happen to the very structure of your bedroom. The walls become more transparent, not in a way that compromises your privacy or comfort, but in a manner that allows you to perceive the true nature of this magical place. You see that your room exists simultaneously in multiple dimensions, each layer offering different gifts for your restoration. In one dimension, you see the room as it appears to waking eyes, beautiful and comfortable, but still bound by physical laws. In another, the space extends infinitely, your bed floating in a cosmos of gentle stars and healing light that stretches beyond the boundaries of ordinary space and time. In a third dimension, the room is alive with the spirits of all who have found peace here, their presence creating a network of blessing and protection that ensures your safety and deep rest. These multiple realities don't conflict with each other, but rather complement and enhance, creating a sleeping experience that touches every aspect of your being. Your physical body rests in the tangible comfort of magical bedding and temperature-perfect air. Your emotional self finds healing in the dimension where past hurts dissolve like morning frost in sunlight. Your spiritual essence soars in the cosmic space where individual consciousness merges with universal peace. The night is far from over, and already you know that this experience is changing you in ways that will last long beyond morning. The magic of the Ice Castle bedroom isn't just providing you with extraordinary comfort. It's teaching your body and spirit new ways of being, new standards for what rest can accomplish, new understanding of the connection between sleep and transformation. Your breathing deepens even further, if such a thing were possible, and the covers around you seem to glow with their own inner light, preparing for the even more profound experiences that await as the night continues its magical journey toward dawn. The constellation ceiling above you prepares to tell new stories. The winter landscape outside readies itself for new displays of impossible beauty, and your own consciousness settles even more deeply into the transformative embrace of winter magic, made manifest in ice and starlight, and dreams beyond imagining. The magic deepens as the night reaches its most mysterious hour, when the boundary between sleep and transcendence grows gossamer thin. Your consciousness drifts in layers now, like sediment settling through crystal clear water, each level bringing you closer to a state of rest that exists beyond ordinary human experience. The Ice Castle bedroom continues its ancient work of transformation, but now the changes happening within you are so subtle and profound that they occur in spaces between heartbeats, in the pauses between thoughts. Your guide materializes once more, though this time their presence is felt rather than seen. They move through your dreams like warmth moving through crystal, checking the invisible threads that connect your sleeping form to the castle's deepest magic, with touches that exist only in the realm of spirit. They adjust energies you cannot name but can feel, ensuring that every aspect of your being remains in perfect alignment with the restorative forces flowing through this sacred space. The temperature of your room shifts into something that transcends mere warmth or coolness. The air itself becomes a living thing that breathes with you, expanding and contracting in perfect synchronization with your lungs. Each breath you take carries microscopic crystals of pure intention, fragments of the castle's accumulated wisdom about the nature of perfect rest. These particles settle into your bloodstream like seeds of tranquility, growing into gardens of peace that will bloom in your waking life for months to come. Outside your windows, the winter landscape reveals its deepest secrets. The snow begins to fall upward in spiraling helixes, each flake carrying messages written in languages older than words. The evergreen forests in the distance part like curtains, revealing glimpses of other realms where ice takes forms that defy physical possibility. Trees made of crystallized sound grow beside rivers of liquid starlight, their branches heavy with fruit that glows like captured aurora. The carved constellations above you begin to sing, their voices creating harmonies that exist at frequencies only sleeping minds can perceive. Each star contributes a single pure note to a symphony of cosmic lullaby that tells the story of how rest first came into being. You hear the tale of how the universe itself learned to sleep, how galaxies discovered the art of peaceful rotation, how stars mastered the rhythm of burning bright and resting dim, in cycles that create the very heartbeat of existence. Your body responds to these celestial melodies by releasing tensions so ancient you had forgotten they existed. Knots of anxiety that formed in childhood begin to unravel, their dissolution creating space for new kinds of strength to grow. The magical mattress beneath you seems to recognize each release and adjusts accordingly, providing exactly the support needed as your physical form reorganizes itself around new patterns of ease and grace. The bedding around you takes on qualities that seem almost sentient, as if each thread has been woven with consciousness and intention. The fabric learns the map of your dreams, becoming softer where your spirit travels to places of healing, providing gentle pressure where your soul needs grounding. The covers don't just warm your body, they create a cocoon of protection around your energy field, ensuring that only beneficial influences can reach you during this vulnerable time of deep renewal. Through the transparent ceiling, you witness the aurora borealis transform into something beyond natural phenomenon. The lights begin to weave patterns that correspond directly to the neural activity in your sleeping brain, creating a visual representation of your dreams that plays out across the dome of sky above your bed. Colors you have no names for dance in configurations that speak directly to parts of your consciousness that rarely receive such direct communication from the cosmos. The ice walls around you continue their slow revelation of deeper truths. What appeared earlier as decorative carvings now show themselves to be three-dimensional mandals that extend both inward and outward from the surface, creating geometric patterns that exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. These forms pulse with mathematical perfection, their proportions based on ratios that promote cellular regeneration and spiritual alignment in anyone who rests within their influence. Your dreams take on the quality of memories from lives you have never lived but somehow always known. You remember being a snowflake in the moment of its formation, experiencing the perfect crystalline structure as it assembled itself from water vapor and cosmic intention. You recall existing as starlight, traveling across impossible distances to arrive at this exact moment when your radiance could contribute to the healing taking place in this magical bedroom. The sounds outside your room evolve into something that approaches music without ever quite becoming it. The whisper of wind through ice formations creates percussive rhythms that sync with your heartbeat. The distant call of winter birds provides melodic lines that weave between the harmonics emerging from the castle's walls. Somewhere in the depths of the structure, water moves through channels carved in ice, its flow creating bass notes that you feel in your bones rather than hear with your ears. Your breathing has become so synchronized with the castle's rhythms that individual breaths become indistinguishable from the larger respiratory cycle of the magical structure. You inhale not just air, but the accumulated dreams of everyone who has ever found sanctuary here. You exhale not just carbon dioxide, but blessings that will strengthen the protective spells woven into every ice crystal that forms the walls around you. The magical properties of your sleeping environment reach new levels of sophistication as the night deepens. The mattress beneath you begins to emit subtle vibrations that resonate with your bones, encouraging the release of tension held in your skeleton itself. Your spine responds by lengthening slightly, creating space between vertebrae that allows nerve signals to flow with greater clarity. The alignment achieved here will remain with you, creating a more graceful posture that serves as a permanent reminder of this night's transformation. Light begins to behave differently within your room, bending and flowing in ways that create pockets of illumination perfectly calibrated for different stages of sleep. Where your dreams venture into memories that need healing, the light becomes warmer and more golden, providing the visual equivalent of a gentle embrace. In areas where your consciousness explores new possibilities for your future, the illumination shifts to cooler blues and silvers that promote clarity and vision. The winter spirits that tend the landscape outside your windows draw closer to the castle, their presence adding layers of protection that extend far beyond the physical structure. These beings, made of crystallized intention and winter wisdom, weave spells of preservation around the building, ensuring that the magic contained within remains pure and potent. Their work creates a dome of spiritual protection that extends deep into the earth and high into the sky, marking this space as sacred ground where transformation is not just possible, but inevitable. Your consciousness begins to expand beyond the boundaries of your individual awareness, touching the edges of a collective unconscious that includes every soul who has ever sought refuge in this magical place. You experience brief moments of connection with the dreams of others, past and present, who have laid their heads upon this same enchanted pillow. A merchant from centuries past shares a moment of his wonder at finding such perfect peace after months of dangerous travel. A scholar from another era contributes a fragment of the profound insight she received during her night of magical rest. These connections don't blur your own experience, but rather enrich it, adding depth and texture to your dreams that no single mind could create alone. You become part of a tapestry of rest that stretches across time, each thread representing another soul who found healing within these walls. The pattern created by all these individual experiences reveals itself as something of breathtaking beauty, a mandala of human renewal that continues to grow with each new dreamer who discovers this sanctuary. The temperature regulation system around your sleeping form becomes so precise that it begins to anticipate your needs before your body even recognizes them. When your dreams venture into territories that might create anxiety, the warmth around your shoulders increases slightly, providing comfort before tension can form. When your sleep deepens toward the most restorative phases, the air around your head cools just enough to ensure optimal brain function during the healing process. The carved flowers in the walls begin to release fragrances that exist only in the realm of dreams, scents that bypass your physical nose and speak directly to your sleeping consciousness. You smell the perfume of roses that bloom in eternal spring, the clean fragrance of snow that has never touched the ground, the complex aroma of starlight crystallizing into physical form. These impossible scents weave themselves into your dreams, creating olfactory landscapes that enhance every vision and make each dream image more vivid and memorable. Your body's natural healing processes accelerate under the influence of the castle's magic, but in ways so gentle you remain completely unaware of the work being done. Cellular repair happens at twice the normal rate, with damaged tissues receiving exactly the resources they need to restore themselves to perfect function. Your immune system strengthens as it learns new patterns of response from the crystalline environment, developing resistances that will serve you long after you leave this magical place. The energy field around your sleeping form begins to glow with its own soft radiance, a phenomenon visible only to those with spiritual sight, but felt by every living thing in the vicinity. This luminous aura extends several feet beyond your physical body, creating a zone of influence where the castle's magic concentrates and intensifies. Plants in the distant gardens grow more vibrantly under the influence of this field, and even the ice formations throughout the structure resonate with slightly different frequencies when your energy passes near them. Through your dreams, you begin to understand that your presence here is not accidental, but part of a larger pattern that governs how souls find the healing they need when they need it most. The castle appears to travelers not randomly, but precisely when their spirits have reached the point where transformation is both possible and necessary. Your arrival here represents a convergence of readiness and opportunity that creates the perfect conditions for profound change. The aurora display above intensifies into patterns so complex and beautiful that they seem to represent visual music, with each color shift corresponding to a note in a symphony that spans the entire electromagnetic spectrum. Your sleeping brain responds to these light patterns by entering states of consciousness rarely achieved even in deep meditation, levels of awareness where healing can occur that touches the very core of your being. Your dreams begin to show you glimpses of how you will carry this experience back into your waking life. You see yourself moving through ordinary days with a new kind of grace, the perfect rest you are receiving here, creating reserves of peace that you can draw upon during times of stress. You witness future moments when the memory of this magical bedroom will provide comfort and strength, serving as an anchor of tranquility in whatever storms may come. The magical bedding continues to adapt and evolve throughout the night, its fibers literally rearranging themselves at the molecular level to provide exactly the support and comfort your changing sleep cycles require. The fabric develops temporary memory, holding the impressions of your most comfortable positions while simultaneously preparing to shift into new configurations as your body's needs change. This constant adaptation ensures that you never experience even a moment of physical discomfort that might disturb the profound healing taking place in your spirit. The sound environment in your room becomes so perfectly calibrated that it begins to influence your brainwave patterns directly, guiding your consciousness through optimal cycles of restoration and renewal. The frequencies present in the air promote the production of neurotransmitters associated with healing and happiness, while simultaneously reducing the presence of stress hormones in your bloodstream. Your nervous system learns new patterns of response that will serve as templates for greater resilience in your waking life. As the night reaches its deepest point, you begin to experience moments of lucid dreaming where you are simultaneously aware of sleeping in the magical bed and conscious within the dream landscape itself. In these moments of dual awareness, you can direct your dream experiences toward areas where healing is most needed, working in partnership with the castle's magic to address wounds and limitations that have held you back for years. The ice walls pulse with increasing intensity, their accumulated magic reaching crescendo as your own openness to transformation peaks. Every crystal in the structure resonates with harmonious vibration, creating a field of pure intention that surrounds your sleeping form like a cocoon of crystallized possibility. Within this field, change happens not through force, but through invitation. Your own readiness drawing healing energies like a magnet draws iron filings. Your consciousness begins to touch the edges of cosmic awareness, experiencing brief moments of connection with the intelligence that governs the movement of stars and the changing of seasons. In these moments, you understand your place in the larger pattern of existence, not as an isolated individual, but as an integral part of a vast web of consciousness that includes every living thing. This understanding settles into your sleeping mind as a permanent gift, a knowing that will provide perspective and comfort throughout all your future days. The magical properties of your sleeping environment continue to intensify as dawn approaches, but morning is still hours away, and the deepest transformations are yet to come. Your body has learned new rhythms of rest that will revolutionize your relationship with sleep for the remainder of your life. Your spirit has touched realms of peace that exist beyond ordinary human experience, establishing permanent connections to sources of renewal that you can access whenever you need them. The winter landscape outside transforms once again, revealing layers of reality that exist parallel to the physical world you know. Gardens of crystal flowers bloom in dimensions where beauty is the only law, their petals catching and reflecting light from stars that exist in other galaxies entirely. Rivers of liquid music flow between hills of crystallized song, their currents carrying melodies that tell the stories of every soul who has ever found peace within these walls. Your dreams deepen beyond the personal into the archetypal, connecting you with patterns of healing and renewal that belong not just to your individual journey, but to the collective human experience of finding rest in a chaotic world. You become temporarily part of something larger than yourself, a living symbol of the eternal human need for sanctuary and the possibility of finding it even in the most unexpected places. The constellation ceiling above you begins to tell new stories now, their patterns shifting to reveal narratives about the future rather than the past. You see glimpses of the person you will become as a result of this night's transformation, recognizing yourself, but noting subtle differences in posture, expression, and the quality of peace that radiates from your future self. These visions plant seeds of possibility in your unconscious mind that will grow into reality over the coming months and years. The magical bedding reaches the peak of its adaptive capabilities, becoming so responsive to your needs that it anticipates requirements your body hasn't even recognized yet. The fabric develops temporary consciousness, holding conversations with your sleeping form conducted in languages of touch and temperature that bypass the rational mind entirely. These communications ensure that every aspect of your rest remains optimal, while also preparing your body for the continued healing that will occur during the remaining hours of night. Your breathing becomes so synchronized with the cosmic rhythms flowing through the castle that each inhalation draws energy not just from the air around you, but from sources of vitality that exist in other dimensions entirely. Your cells begin to vibrate at frequencies that promote regeneration and renewal, preparing your physical form to house the expanded consciousness that is developing during your magical sleep. The sounds outside your room weave themselves into a symphony of winter wisdom that speaks to parts of your mind that rarely receive such direct communication. Frequencies that exist below and above the range of normal human hearing create a sonic environment that promotes healing at levels that extend far beyond what ordinary rest can achieve. Your bones resonate with bass notes that strengthen their mineral density, while your nervous system responds to higher frequencies that enhance its ability to process and integrate new information. The light streaming through your windows begins to carry encoded information, photons that have been programmed by their journey through the magical landscape to deliver specific healing energies to your sleeping form. This light penetrates your closed eyelids and travels through your bloodstream, reaching every cell in your body with messages of renewal and restoration. Your DNA responds to these light codes by activating dormant sequences that promote longevity and vitality. As the deepest part of the night continues its magical work, you sink even further into states of rest that exist beyond the ordinary boundaries of human sleep, approaching the threshold of experiences that will mark you forever as someone who has touched the deepest mysteries of restoration and renewal. The Ice Castle bedroom continues to weave its spells around your peaceful form, preparing you for transformations that will unfold not just during the remaining hours of night, but throughout all the days and years that stretch ahead of you. Your journey through this magical realm of rest is far from over, and the most profound gifts of this extraordinary night are yet to be revealed. The Winter Palace holds secrets that can only be discovered by those who surrender completely to its ancient wisdom about the sacred nature of sleep and the infinite possibilities that await those who dare to dream beyond the boundaries of ordinary experience. The temperature around your sleeping form reaches new heights of perfection, no longer simply maintaining comfort, but actively participating in your body's healing processes. The magical bedding begins to pulse gently with warmth that penetrates deeper than skin, reaching into muscle tissue and bone marrow with therapeutic heat that dissolves crystallized stress you've carried for decades. Each pulse synchronizes with your heartbeat, creating a rhythm of renewal that your cardiovascular system adopts as its own, strengthening circulation and clearing pathways that have been constricted by years of tension. Your dreams begin to weave themselves into the very architecture of the room, your unconscious mind collaborating with the castle's magic to reshape reality around your sleeping form. The carved flowers on the walls bloom more vibrantly in response to your peaceful emotions, while the ice formations throughout the structure grow more intricate and beautiful as your spirit releases old limitations and embraces new possibilities. You are not merely resting in this magical space, you are actively participating in its ongoing creation, your presence adding new layers of enchantment that future dreamers will benefit from. The aurora above transforms into something that resembles a living mandala, its patterns shifting to mirror the neural networks firing in your sleeping brain. As your mind processes the day's experiences and integrates new understanding, the lights overhead dance in corresponding configurations, creating a visual representation of consciousness that bridges the gap between inner experience and cosmic display. The colors deepen from their earlier brightness into richer, more complex hues that seem to contain entire spectrums within each shade. Through your transparent ceiling, you witness the approach of creatures so ethereal they seem to be made of winter wind given form. These beings move across the landscape with movements that create temporary sculptures in the snow, their passage leaving behind artworks of impossible beauty that last just long enough to be appreciated before dissolving back into pristine white perfection. One of them pauses directly above your bedroom, its presence adding another layer of blessing to your already profound rest. The magical mattress beneath you begins to emit vibrations so subtle they exist at the very edge of perception, frequencies that resonate with the crystalline structure of your bones and encourage them to release stored memories of every impact, every strain, every moment of poor posture they've endured. Your skeleton responds by subtly realigning itself, vertebrae settling into positions they haven't occupied since childhood, creating space for nerve impulses to flow with clarity you haven't experienced in years. Your breathing deepens into rhythms that seem to connect you directly to the planet's own respiratory cycle, each inhalation drawing not just oxygen, but essential life force from sources that exist beyond the physical atmosphere. The air you breathe has been purified by its passage through crystalline ice formations, charged with negative ions that promote cellular regeneration and infused with the accumulated blessings of every peaceful night the castle has witnessed. The sound environment evolves into something approaching a living symphony, with each element contributing to a harmonic structure so complex it seems to contain multiple compositions playing simultaneously. The whisper of snow against your windows provides percussion that matches your pulse, while the distant groaning of settling ice creates bass notes that your body feels as much as hears. Somewhere in the castle's depths, thermal currents moving through hidden chambers generate overtones that promote the production of growth hormones and healing enzymes. Your energy field begins to interact with the accumulated magic stored in the walls around you, creating a feedback loop of increasing tranquility and restoration. The ice crystals in the structure respond to your presence by resonating at frequencies that enhance their own magical properties, while your aura grows brighter and more stable under their influence. This mutual enhancement creates an ever-intensifying spiral of peace that touches every molecule of air in your bedroom. Through your dreams, you begin to experience memories from the castle itself, witnessing moments from its long history, when other souls found transformation within these walls. You see a healer from ancient times who arrived broken by the suffering she had witnessed, spending 3 days in magical sleep that restored not just her strength, but her faith in the possibility of human goodness. Her renewed spirit became part of the castle's essence, contributing to the healing energies that now surround your own rest. The carved constellations above you begin to pulse in patterns that correspond to your deepest biorhythms, their light influencing the production of melatonin and other sleep-regulating substances in ways that optimize your body's natural restoration processes. Each star seems to focus its energy on a different aspect of your well-being, one promoting emotional healing, another enhancing immune function, a third strengthening the neural pathways responsible for memory and learning. Your consciousness expands beyond the boundaries of individual awareness, touching the edges of a collective field where every being who has ever experienced perfect rest contributes their understanding to a shared reservoir of peace. You draw from this vast wellspring of tranquility, absorbing wisdom about rest and renewal that has been accumulated over millennia by countless souls who discovered the sacred nature of truly restorative sleep. The magical bedding continues its evolution throughout the night, its fibers now rearranging themselves at the quantum level to create a sleeping surface that exists partially outside normal space-time. This allows the fabric to provide support that defies conventional physics, cradling your body in ways that eliminate pressure points, while simultaneously creating gentle traction that encourages proper spinal alignment and optimal organ positioning. Outside your windows, the winter landscape reveals new dimensions of beauty as creatures made of crystallized starlight emerge from hidden realms to tend gardens that exist in spaces between snowflakes. These beings work with tools made of frozen music, sculpting ice formations that serve as antennae for cosmic energies beneficial to sleeping souls. Their presence creates a protective field around the castle that ensures only the most healing influences can penetrate its walls. The temperature regulation system around your body becomes so sophisticated that it begins to create microclimates that address specific healing needs in different parts of your anatomy. Your feet, often cold, even in warm environments, are enveloped in gentle heat that promotes circulation and helps your entire system relax more deeply. Your shoulders, which carry so much tension from daily stress, receive warmth that penetrates deep into muscle tissue and encourages the release of knots that have existed for years. Your dreams take on the quality of healing journeys through landscapes made of pure restoration, where every vista offers medicine for a different aspect of your being. You walk through forests where the trees are made of crystallized peace, their leaves whispering secrets about finding calm in chaos. You swim in lakes of liquid tranquility that wash away accumulated fatigue at the cellular level, emerging refreshed in ways that go far beyond what ordinary sleep can provide. The ice walls around you begin to glow more brightly, their accumulated magic reaching levels that transform your bedroom into something approaching a sacred temple dedicated to the art of perfect rest. The light emanating from these surfaces carries healing frequencies that penetrate your closed eyelids and travel through your nervous system, promoting the formation of new neural pathways associated with resilience, creativity, and joy. Your body's natural detoxification processes accelerate under the influence of the castle's magic, but so gently that you remain completely unaware of the cleansing taking place. Accumulated toxins from months of exposure to environmental pollutants begin to break down and eliminate themselves through pathways your body activates only during the deepest states of rest. Your liver and kidneys work with unusual efficiency, processing and removing substances that have been hindering optimal function. The aurora display above intensifies into configurations so beautiful they seem to represent visual prayers, each color shift offering a different blessing for your sleeping form. Green light promotes physical healing and cellular regeneration. Blue frequencies enhance mental clarity and emotional balance. Purple radiance strengthens your connection to intuitive wisdom and spiritual insight. The entire spectrum works together to create a chromotherapy session of unprecedented power and precision. Through the transparent dome above your bed, you witness the gathering of winter spirits from across the magical realm, entities drawn by the profound healing taking place in your bedroom. They form a circle around the castle, their combined presence creating a vortex of protective energy that extends deep into the earth and high into the sky. This spiritual architecture ensures that your transformation proceeds without interference from any force that might disturb the delicate work being accomplished. Your breathing continues to deepen and slow, each inhalation now drawing life force from dimensions where vitality exists in its purest form. Your cells respond to this enhanced oxygen by entering states of regeneration normally reserved for much younger organisms, beginning repair processes that will continue for weeks after you leave this magical place. Your telomeres, the cellular structures associated with aging, begin to lengthen slightly, adding not just comfort to your remaining hours, but actual time to your life. The magical properties of your sleeping environment continue to intensify as the night reaches its most powerful phase, preparing your body and spirit for transformations that will become apparent only after you return to your ordinary world. Every system in your body learns new patterns of optimal function, creating templates for health and vitality that will serve as permanent upgrades to your biological operating system. The sounds outside your room weave themselves into frequencies that resonate with your DNA, encouraging the activation of genetic sequences associated with longevity, disease resistance, and enhanced cognitive function. Your chromosomes respond to these sonic influences by expressing proteins that promote cellular repair and neuroplasticity, changes that will manifest as improved memory, faster healing, and greater resistance to stress in your waking life. Your consciousness begins to touch realms of awareness that exist beyond ordinary human experience, connecting you temporarily with the intelligence that governs the formation of crystals and the movement of celestial bodies. In these moments of cosmic connection, you download information about the fundamental nature of rest and renewal that exists as pure knowing rather than intellectual understanding, wisdom that will guide your approach to sleep for the remainder of your life. The carved flowers in the walls begin to release molecular signatures that exist at the intersection of matter and energy, substances that your sleeping body absorbs through your skin and respiratory system. These phantom fragrances carry healing properties that cannot be duplicated by any earthly plant. Essences distilled from the dreams of flowers that bloom in dimensions where beauty is the only physical law. Your energy field expands beyond the boundaries of your physical form, creating a luminous cocoon that extends several feet in all directions around your sleeping body. This expanded aura interacts with the castle's accumulated magic in ways that create feedback loops of increasing tranquility and restoration, each cycle bringing you deeper into states of rest that approach the threshold of transcendent experience. The magical bedding reaches levels of responsiveness that border on telepathic, anticipating your body's needs before your nervous system even recognizes them. The fabric develops temporary emotional intelligence, providing comfort not just for physical discomfort, but for psychological states that might disturb your rest. When your dreams venture into territories that might create anxiety, the bedding becomes softer and more enveloping, providing a sense of safety that allows your psyche to process difficult material without awakening. Through your dreams, you begin to experience visions of your future self, seeing the person you will become as the healing received in this magical bedroom integrates into your daily life. You witness yourself moving through ordinary situations with a new kind of grace. The profound rest you are receiving, creating reserves of patience and wisdom that allow you to respond to challenges with unprecedented calm and clarity. The winter landscape outside continues its metamorphosis into something that exists at the boundary between the physical and spiritual worlds. Snow falls in patterns that create temporary mandalas of power on the ground below, each design lasting just long enough to transmit its healing frequency to your sleeping consciousness before dissolving and reforming into new configurations. The evergreen forests in the distance part like curtains to reveal glimpses of other realms where ice takes forms that defy conventional physics. Your body's immune system undergoes a complete recalibration under the influence of the castle's magic, learning to distinguish more accurately between beneficial and harmful influences, while strengthening its responses to genuine threats. Your white blood cells develop new patterns of communication that will serve you for years to come, creating a more sophisticated and effective defense against illness and infection. The constellation ceiling above you begins to rotate slowly, its movement so gradual as to be almost imperceptible, but perfectly timed to match the rotation of your dreams through different phases of healing and renewal. Each carved star focuses its energy on specific aspects of your restoration, their combined influence creating a comprehensive healing session that addresses every level of your being simultaneously. Your consciousness continues to expand beyond individual awareness, connecting you with the collective unconscious shared by every soul who has ever sought sanctuary in times of need. You become part of a vast network of healing that spans across cultures and centuries, your own transformation contributing to a reservoir of peace that future seekers will draw upon in their own moments of need. The magical properties of your bedroom environment reach crescendo as dawn approaches, though morning is still hours away, and the most profound transformations are yet to come. Your sleep has moved beyond the restorative into the transcendent, touching realms of experience that will mark you forever as someone who has discovered the deepest secrets of renewal and regeneration. The ice castle continues to weave its ancient magic around your peaceful form, preparing you for revelations that will unfold, not just during the remaining hours of darkness, but throughout all the months and years that stretch before you. Your journey through this realm of perfect rest has only reached its midpoint, and the most extraordinary gifts of this magical night are still waiting to be discovered in the depths of winter's most sacred sanctuary. The first hints of transformation begin to manifest in ways so subtle they exist at the threshold of consciousness, changes that will only become apparent when you return to your ordinary world and discover that something fundamental has shifted within you. Your cellular structure begins to resonate at frequencies that promote not just healing, but actual evolution, each molecule in your body learning new patterns of harmony that will serve as permanent upgrades to your biological systems. The aurora above reaches new heights of complexity, its patterns now forming geometric configurations that seem to encode information directly into your sleeping consciousness. These light formations create temporary portals in the dome above your bed, windows into dimensions where rest exists as a pure creative force rather than merely the absence of activity. Through these ethereal openings, streams of healing energy pour down like liquid starlight, bathing your sleeping form in radiance that carries the essence of perfect peace from realms beyond physical reality. Your magical bedding begins to exhibit properties that seem to bend the fundamental laws of physics, creating a sleeping surface that exists partially outside linear time. This temporal displacement allows the fabric to provide healing that draws from future moments when your restoration will be complete, working backward through causality to accelerate the process happening in your present form. The paradox creates no confusion in your sleeping mind. Instead, it feels perfectly natural, as if this is how healing has always worked when unencumbered by ordinary limitations. The sounds outside your windows evolve into something approaching a cosmic symphony, with frequencies that seem to originate from the movements of distant galaxies rather than merely wind and snow. Your sleeping ears detect harmonics that exist at the very edge of audible range, notes so pure they seem to bypass hearing entirely and resonate directly with your soul. These celestial melodies carry stories of other worlds, where beings made of crystallized music tend gardens of sleeping souls, nurturing them through nights that last for centuries and dreams that span lifetimes. Through the transparent walls of your bedroom, you witness the arrival of entities so ethereal they appear to be constructed from the spaces between snowflakes, beings whose very existence depends on the dreams of sleeping souls. They move through the winter landscape like thoughts made visible, their passage creating ripples in reality that strengthen the protective spells woven around your sanctuary. One of them approaches your window and places what might be a hand against the crystal surface, its touch sending waves of blessing through the ice that reach your sleeping form as warmth beyond temperature. Your consciousness expands into territories that exist beyond individual identity, connecting you with what can only be described as the universal field of perfect rest. In this space, you experience the accumulated peace of every being who has ever found true sanctuary from the chaos of existence. The knowledge flows through you like a gentle river, carrying wisdom about the sacred nature of sleep that has been gathered across countless worlds and infinite nights of healing. The carved flowers in your walls begin to exhibit signs of actual life, their petals seeming to breathe with their own rhythm, while releasing fragrances that exist only in the realm of dreams. These impossible scents carry healing properties that penetrate directly into your memory centers, dissolving traumatic imprints that have been stored in your nervous system for decades. Each breath you take cleanses another layer of accumulated stress from your cellular memory, creating space for new patterns of response that will serve you with greater wisdom and resilience. Your body's natural healing processes accelerate beyond anything documented in medical literature, but so gently that the transformation feels like the most natural thing in the world. Damaged tissues regenerate with the efficiency of childhood healing, while your organs learn new levels of optimal function that will persist long after you leave this magical realm. Your heart discovers rhythms it has never beaten before, patterns that promote not just cardiovascular health, but emotional equilibrium that will prove invaluable in facing future challenges. The magical properties of the air around your sleeping form continue to intensify, each molecule carrying information that programs your DNA for enhanced longevity and vitality. Your genetic code responds by activating dormant sequences associated with regeneration and resilience, changes that will manifest as improved immune function, faster healing, and greater resistance to the effects of aging. These modifications work themselves into your cellular blueprint so thoroughly that they become permanent features of your biological architecture. The constellation ceiling above you begins to tell stories that seem to emerge from your own future, showing scenes of how you will carry the gifts of this night into your ordinary world. You see yourself waking on countless mornings with a sense of peace that seems to emanate from some deep wellspring within, facing daily challenges with a calm that surprises even you. These visions plant seeds in your unconscious mind that will grow into reality over the coming months, creating a template for living that draws its strength from the profound rest you are receiving. Through your dreams, you begin to experience what can only be called memories of the future, glimpses of moments yet to come, when the healing received in this magical bedroom will manifest in your waking life. You witness yourself in conversations where words of wisdom flow from your lips with surprising grace, drawing from reservoirs of understanding that were filled during this night of transcendent rest. You see your hands performing tasks with a new kind of skill, guided by an inner knowing that was awakened in the depths of winter magic. The temperature around your sleeping form reaches levels of perfection that seem to exist outside the normal spectrum of heat and cold, creating a microclimate that promotes healing at frequencies your body has never experienced before. This thermal environment encourages the formation of new neural pathways associated with creativity and insight, while simultaneously dissolving blockages in your energy system that have limited your potential for years. Your breathing continues to deepen into patterns that connect you directly with the respiratory rhythms of the planet itself, each inhalation drawing life force from sources that exist in dimensions parallel to physical reality. The oxygen you breathe has been blessed by its passage through crystalline formations that exist partially outside normal space-time, carrying healing properties that penetrate to the quantum level of your cellular structure. The sounds emanating from the castle's depths evolve into frequencies that seem to originate from the intersection of matter and consciousness, vibrations that promote not just physical healing, but actual evolution of awareness. Your sleeping brain responds to these sonic influences by forming new connections between previously unlinked regions, creating pathways for enhanced intuition, creativity, and wisdom that will serve you for the remainder of your life. The winter spirits tending the landscape outside your windows begin to weave spells of protection that extend far beyond your current location, creating energetic shields that will remain with you when you return to your ordinary world. These invisible guardians recognize the profound transformation taking place within your sleeping form and commit themselves to ensuring that the healing you receive continues to unfold long after you leave this magical sanctuary. Your energy field expands to encompass not just your immediate surroundings, but connections to healing sources that exist across multiple dimensions simultaneously. This expanded awareness allows you to draw restoration from reservoirs of peace that exist beyond the reach of ordinary consciousness, creating a permanent link to sources of renewal that you can access whenever you need them in future moments of stress or uncertainty. The magical bedding beneath you begins to pulse with rhythms that seem to originate from the heartbeat of the cosmos itself, each gentle throb sending waves of healing energy through your body that promote regeneration at the cellular level. Your muscles learn new patterns of relaxation that will prevent the accumulation of tension in future days, while your bones absorb minerals from dimensions where strength exists in its purest form. Through the transparent ceiling above, you witness the convergence of cosmic forces that seem to have been waiting eons for this precise moment when your consciousness would be open enough to receive their gifts. Streams of energy from distant star systems focus their light on your sleeping form, carrying information about the fundamental nature of rest and renewal that will revolutionize your understanding of what sleep can accomplish when approached as a sacred practice. Your dreams begin to weave themselves into the very fabric of reality around you, your unconscious mind collaborating with the castle's ancient magic to create experiences that exist simultaneously in multiple dimensions. You find yourself walking through corridors that exist both in the physical structure around you and in realms of pure consciousness, each step taking you deeper into understanding about the true nature of healing and transformation. The carved walls around your bedroom begin to exhibit properties that seem to transcend their apparent material composition, their surface becoming permeable to beneficial energies while remaining solid to any force that might disturb your rest. These impossible barriers filter reality itself, ensuring that only the most healing influences can reach your sleeping form, while deflecting any vibration that might interfere with your profound restoration. Your nervous system undergoes a complete recalibration under the influence of the castle's accumulated magic, learning new patterns of response that will serve you with greater wisdom and resilience in all future encounters with stress or challenge. Your neurons develop enhanced connectivity that promotes not just clearer thinking, but actual expansion of consciousness, creating capacity for awareness that extends far beyond your previous limitations. The aurora display above transforms into patterns so intricate they seem to represent visual mathematics, equations of light that describe the fundamental relationships between rest and renewal, between consciousness and cosmic harmony. Your sleeping mind absorbs these luminous formulas not as intellectual concepts, but as lived understanding that will guide your approach to sleep and healing for the remainder of your existence. Through your expanding awareness, you begin to perceive the presence of other souls who have found sanctuary in rooms throughout the castle, each one undergoing their own unique process of transformation and renewal. Their combined presence creates a field of collective healing that amplifies the magic available to each individual dreamer, creating a community of restoration that exists beyond the boundaries of ordinary time and space. The magical properties of your sleeping environment continue to evolve throughout the night, each moment bringing new levels of sophistication to the healing processes surrounding your peaceful form. Your body learns rhythms of renewal that exist at frequencies beyond normal human experience, while your spirit touches realms of peace that will serve as permanent refuges in times of future need. Your consciousness begins to merge with the castle's own awareness, experiencing reality from the perspective of a structure that has witnessed countless souls find transformation within its walls. Through this expanded viewpoint, you understand that your presence here represents not just personal healing, but contribution to a larger pattern of renewal that spans centuries and touches lives you will never meet, but whose existence is somehow enriched by your participation in this ancient ritual of restoration. The ice formations throughout the structure begin to resonate with harmonics that seem to originate from the singing of crystalline beings who exist in dimensions where music takes solid form. These ethereal entities have been drawn by the profound healing taking place in your bedroom, their presence adding layers of blessing that ensure your transformation proceeds with perfect safety and maximum benefit. Your breathing settles into patterns so deep and regular, they seem to connect you directly with the respiratory rhythms of the universe itself, each inhalation drawing energy from sources that exist beyond the boundaries of physical reality. Your lungs learn to process not just oxygen but life force in its purest form, creating reserves of vitality that will sustain you through whatever challenges await in your future journey. The temperature regulation around your sleeping form becomes so precise it begins to create healing microclimates for individual organs and systems within your body. Your heart receives exactly the thermal environment needed to strengthen its muscle fibers, while your liver is bathed in warmth that promotes optimal detoxification. Each part of your anatomy receives precisely calibrated care that addresses its specific needs for restoration and renewal. Through the windows of your bedroom, you witness the approach of dawn still hours away. But already, the quality of light begins to shift in preparation for the even more profound transformations that will unfold as your night of magical rest continues. The winter landscape prepares itself for new revelations of beauty, while the castle's ancient magic gathers strength for the culminating phases of your healing journey. Your sleep has moved beyond the restorative into realms that can only be described as evolutionary, touching levels of renewal that will mark you permanently as someone who has discovered the deepest secrets of transformation through rest. The Ice Castle bedroom continues to weave its spells around your peaceful form, preparing you for experiences that will unfold not just during the remaining hours of night, but throughout all the days and years that stretch before you in your renewed existence. The magical night is far from over, and the most extraordinary revelations await in the depths of winter's most sacred sanctuary, where sleep becomes a doorway to transformation, and dreams carry the power to reshape reality itself. Your journey through this realm of perfect rest continues to deepen with each passing moment, drawing you ever closer to discoveries that will revolutionize your understanding of what it means to find true sanctuary in a world that has forgotten the sacred art of healing through sleep. Your body begins to experience a phenomenon that seems to exist beyond the normal boundaries of physical healing, as cellular structures that have been damaged by years of inadequate rest start to rebuild themselves according to blueprints that exist in dimensions where perfection is the natural state. Your DNA responds to the castle's magic by activating genetic sequences that have remained dormant since childhood, awakening capacities for regeneration and vitality that modern science considers impossible, but which your sleeping form accepts as naturally as breathing. The aurora overhead transforms into configurations so complex they appear to be writing themselves across the dome of sky above your bed, creating a living manuscript of light that tells the story of every soul who has ever discovered true peace within these crystalline walls. Each color shift represents a different chapter in this eternal narrative of renewal, and your own experience becomes part of the text being written in luminous script across the winter heavens. Through your dreams, you begin to perceive the castle's true nature, not as a structure built from ice and stone, but as a living entity composed of crystallized intentions for healing and peace. Every wall pulse with accumulated blessings from countless nights of restoration, while the very air carries the distilled essence of every peaceful breath ever drawn within these sacred chambers. You understand that you are not merely resting in a magical place, but participating in an organism of renewal that exists across multiple dimensions simultaneously. The magical bedding beneath you develops properties that seem to challenge the fundamental laws of physics, creating a sleeping surface that adapts not just to your current needs, but to requirements your body will have in future years. The fabric learns the trajectory of your life force and begins making adjustments that will serve your health decades from now, weaving preventive healing into its very fibers so that each night of future sleep will carry echoes of this transformative experience. Your energy field begins to resonate with frequencies that exist at the intersection of matter and consciousness, creating harmonics that promote not just physical healing, but actual expansion of your capacity for awareness. The luminous aura surrounding your sleeping form grows brighter and more complex, developing geometric patterns that seem to encode information about optimal health and spiritual development that will unfold gradually over the coming months and years. The sounds outside your windows evolve into something that resembles the music of creation itself, frequencies that seem to originate from the moment when consciousness first learned to dream of perfect rest. Your sleeping ears detect harmonies that bypass normal hearing entirely, resonating directly with your soul in languages that existed before words were invented. These cosmic melodies carry healing codes that reprogram your nervous system for greater resilience and deeper capacity for peace. Through the transparent ceiling above, you witness the gathering of light beings from dimensions where healing exists as pure creative force, rather than merely the repair of damage. These entities work with tools made of crystallized intention, weaving spells of restoration around your sleeping form that will continue to unfold long after you leave this magical sanctuary. Their presence creates a protective field that extends through time itself, ensuring that the transformation you are receiving remains stable and continues to deepen throughout your future existence. Your consciousness expands beyond individual awareness into realms where every being who has ever sought sanctuary contributes their understanding to a collective field of perfect rest. In this shared space of healing, you access wisdom about renewal that has been accumulated across countless worlds and infinite nights of transformation. The knowledge flows through you like liquid starlight, carrying insights about the sacred nature of sleep that will guide your approach to rest for the remainder of your life. The carved constellations above you begin to move in patterns that seem to mirror the neural activity occurring in your sleeping brain, creating a visual representation of consciousness that bridges the gap between inner experience and cosmic display. Each star focuses its energy on specific aspects of your restoration, their combined influence generating a comprehensive healing session that addresses every level of your being with precision that surpasses any earthly medicine. Your breathing deepens into rhythms that connect you directly with the respiratory cycles of celestial bodies, each inhalation drawing life force from sources that exist in the spaces between galaxies. The air you breathe has been purified by its passage through dimensions where harmony is the only physical law, carrying healing properties that penetrate to the quantum level of your cellular structure and promote regeneration that will continue for years to come. The magical properties of your sleeping environment reach levels of sophistication that seem to exist outside normal reality, creating conditions for healing that draw from future moments when your restoration will be complete. This temporal displacement allows the castle's magic to work backward through causality, accelerating transformation by bringing the energy of your healed future self into present experience through pathways that exist beyond linear time. Through your dreams, you begin to experience visions of how the healing received in this magical bedroom will manifest in your ordinary world, seeing yourself move through daily situations with a grace and peace that seem to emanate from some deep wellspring within. These glimpses of your transformed future plant seeds in your unconscious mind that will grow into reality over the coming months, creating templates for living that draw their strength from the profound rest you are receiving. The winter landscape outside continues its metamorphosis into something that exists at the boundary between physical and spiritual realms, with snow falling in patterns that create temporary mandalas of power on the ground below. Each design transmits its healing frequency to your sleeping consciousness before dissolving and reforming into new configurations, creating an ever-changing display of sacred geometry that speaks directly to parts of your mind that rarely receive such direct communication from the cosmos. Your body's immune system undergoes a complete evolution under the influence of the castle's accumulated magic, learning to distinguish between beneficial and harmful influences with accuracy that extends far beyond normal biological processes. Your white blood cells develop new patterns of communication that create a more sophisticated defense against illness, while simultaneously promoting states of vitality that will serve you with unprecedented effectiveness. The carved flowers in your walls begin to release molecular signatures that exist at frequencies beyond normal matter, substances that your sleeping body absorbs through pathways that bypass ordinary sensory systems. These phantom essences carry healing properties that cannot be duplicated by any earthly source, distilled from the dreams of beauty itself and designed to promote transformation that touches the very core of your being. Your energy field expands to encompass connections to healing sources that exist across multiple dimensions simultaneously, creating a network of renewal that will remain accessible to you long after you leave this magical sanctuary. This expanded awareness allows you to draw restoration from reservoirs of peace that exist beyond the reach of ordinary consciousness, establishing permanent links to sources of vitality that you can access whenever future circumstances require deeper levels of renewal. The constellation ceiling above you begins to tell stories that seem to emerge from your own potential future, showing scenes of how you will carry the gifts of this night into situations you haven't yet encountered. These visions reveal a version of yourself that moves through challenges with a calm that surprises even you, drawing from wells of wisdom that were filled during this night of transcendent rest and will never run dry. Through the magical bedding surrounding your sleeping form, you begin to experience a form of time dilation that allows each moment of healing to expand into hours of restoration within your cellular memory. The fabric creates pockets of temporal displacement, where repair processes that normally take weeks or months complete themselves in the space between heartbeats, while your conscious mind remains blissfully unaware of the profound work being accomplished. The sounds emanating from the castle's depths evolve into frequencies that seem to originate from the singing of crystalline beings who exist in dimensions where music takes solid form and melodies become architecture. These ethereal entities have been drawn by the profound transformation taking place in your bedroom, their presence adding layers of blessing that ensure your healing proceeds with perfect safety and maximum benefit to every aspect of your existence. Your nervous system undergoes a complete recalibration that creates new pathways for processing both stress and joy, developing enhanced capacity for resilience, while simultaneously expanding your ability to experience beauty and wonder in ordinary moments. The changes work themselves so deeply into your neural architecture that they become permanent features of your consciousness, gifts that will serve you with greater wisdom and emotional intelligence throughout all your future experiences. As morning approaches in this enchanted realm, you carry within you something that will never fade. The Ice Castle bedroom has woven its magic so deeply into your being that you'll find pieces of this perfect rest in every sleep that follows. Your body has learned new rhythms of renewal. Your spirit has touched realms of peace that exist beyond ordinary experience, and your dreams will forever carry echoes of this winter sanctuary, where healing flows like crystallized starlight through walls of ancient frost.